May I?
I really like the score in this film. It's a very simple composition, but very effectively arranged. Nothing more than piano and strings, and yet it really supports the mood of the film. Visually, this should not work, but it does work. So, praise for the director for having the courage to try something so different and for successfully pulling it off.
Interesting, intriguing, it's telling even. I'm not exactly 100% sure what it's telling, but it's telling me something, and it makes me want to, ask or find out more from the director or the DP why they decided to set up the entire film that way. It doesn't really seem to have a set era, not one that's obvious to me at least, and I think that's important to what they're trying to convey, and probably necessary even. And I like that. My favorite thing about this was the use of the queries as opposed to just lecturing and, preaching. They use queries. She used a lot of questions to convey her point, to provoke thought, to get the message across. The other thing was like the subtle difference in lipstick shade. That to me was intentional, deliberate, and it kind of said a lot about the two characters and the difference between them. So
this is an interesting one. It's got a sort of French art house vibe to it as far as the aesthetic and the way it's shot, very dark, and it's cool, and it makes you wonder, like, in a weird way, am I ever going to see more of these people? But it's not about that. It's got a message to it, and I do believe the message is, break your shackles, become the person you want to be or the person you admire, kind of thing.
I was watching it and I was like, I want to see their eyes, but maybe that's what they wanted to create. This sense that you're kind of lacking something, but it's part of the whole idea. And that being said, it forced me to focus on the dialogue, which was kind of nice, because sometimes you're watching a movie and you're just pacing through the story and you want to be entertained, but it forced me to pay attention to the dialogue.
This short film was a triumph of stylistic direction, and I particularly enjoyed the long, confident pauses as I waited for the next line, for the next layer of defences to be stripped away from the characters. Having to rely upon the characters' mouths to signify emotions was a really bold directing choice, and a genuine credit to the actors for pulling it off so brilliantly. The music and lighting really helped set the mood for this beautifully directed piece. I really enjoyed it.
The fact that it was the same actress playing both roles was very interesting, and also was just a proof of how talented that actress is. The performance was great. It was varied between the two. Even down to the vocal change was very interesting. Both characters had very different voices.
I really like the way that this film played with the light. It was really, really visually interesting, very mysterious. It just really pulled you in. It was very enjoyable to watch.
One of my favorites of the pieces. I thought this was really, really good. It's just beautifully shot. The lighting, the camera work, all of it. It was very sensual, very intimate. This just a close up of each mouth. You could almost think that they were the same actor, the same person talking to themselves.
This one was very interesting because I liked how they portray women as with perplexity, and they switch this. It's a curse or a beauty to be women, which is pretty much maybe what all women have thought at some point in their lives. And I really liked the performance, even though you can't see their faces. The dialogue was amazing, so I really liked that.
I thought it was very evocative, sort of a twist on the film noir with your stereotypical femme fatale. I thought the composition was quite interesting, where the temptress was primarily in a black background, and when you went to the person being tempted, you could see the world around them. I loved the coloring, the red lips, the red nails, the red ashtray, the pink nails on the person being tempted, and then the switch to the red lips at the end. And the Pinteresque dialogue. So it left a lot of things sort of open to interpretation. It was really interesting to only have the mouth, the primary focus, so no eye, so everything had to be conveyed through the mouth. And that I thought was quite interesting and quite successful.
What a sexy film. I love this film. And mostly the music, the violin and the piano and the interaction between the very seductress woman with the long red nails and the innocent wife with the pale salmon-colored nails, and how they banter back and forth, and how the seductress is trying to tell the woman to live a little and don't be so controlled by your husband. I just love this movie. It is so sensual. That's what I love about it. And it's got a great message, meaning that stand up for yourself and enjoy life. Don't get controlled. Just love it. It's really rich and really well done. But especially the makeup and the music. Wow, they just take you on a journey, and all the smoke. It's a great film.
Cigarette
Excellent.
Lips was so sensual. I loved the button that we got at the end with the lipstick change. I don't know if they were on a date or if it was almost felt like a woman kind of talking to a part of herself that recognizes that she's sexy, that she has wants and needs and desires.
This was very sexy, very intimate, and interesting dynamic between the two versions of women. One version being cautiously interested in the other, and being pulled by her perceived obligations to her husband and societal expectations, and then the other encouraging her to break free of all of that, and that they actually aren't so different in the end.
I like the way it was shot, focusing on the mouth, trying to explore the duality of being feminine, the classic devil and angel on the shoulder.
Really cool perspective shown in this film. Great way to show the subjectivity of what is good and bad and what is proper and improper. Yeah, I love the lighting and the score in this film. It really elevated the cinematography, and that choice made to just be zoned in on the lips and the jaw and the cigarette. I think it was really effective in this film, like really effective in creating that moody atmosphere, that sexy, edgy tone that it has. Very, very well done.
A little disturbing to me. But I enjoy that there were a lot of questions left. So the synopsis talks about the breaking out of expectations. But what do those mean? Is it just that she follows what her husband asks her to do? Or does it also follow in her desires? Or is it also just being, what does a woman mean? So there's a lot I like that you can interpret on your own. It was disturbing because it was so well done. As far as just where is this going, and the temptation and the change of the lip color at the end, she's kind of converted her in a way. I really enjoy the unique aspect of the cinematography of just the nose down, no eye is shown, and the expression of the lips, the quiver of the muscles around the nose, and of course the smoke was very sensual and very kind of speaks so close to you. It's almost like in your face. So that was just very powerful.